sure quiet, your brain. Wrong mental pop.
I'm your host, Frederick Douglas Southern, aka Sir Frederick. Wherever you are in the world, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. And my co-host.
I'm your co-host, Coach Chris, and partner in these conversations. Welcome to the Men's Lounge LA. Oh yeah, like and subscribe to the channel, please.
What's this? That's new, huh? I like that. Hey, here's the Men's Lounge. We empower men. We empower men, good men become better men. We empower men to embrace their masculinity. And yes, we embrace and celebrate the women at the same time, because without the women, we wouldn't be properly balanced.
Kudos to the women. I was raised by a single woman, so I'm always going to give my love to the women, because without our women, I tip my cap, we're doing nothing.
We're back in the lounge, part two.
Part two.
And we're continuing in 10 things men should keep private, part two.
We stopped at 5, right?
We stopped at 5. You
Because that's half of 10, obviously, but what was number 5?
Nothing wrong with your math.
Hey, my math is good. I used to major math, actually.
Did you?
Yeah, I used to major math.
Number 5, 10 things men should keep private.
Actually, you know what? Do a recap on all of them.
All right, I'll do that.
We don't have to go through the whole thing like we did on the last episode, but just do a recap of which ones.
We'll do a recap from episode 1.
Yeah.
10 things men should keep private. Number 1, your next move. Number 2, your emotional struggles. Number 3, your self-doubts.
Yeah.
Number 4, your good deeds.
Mm-hmm.
And number 5, your sex life. So those are the 5 things that we talked about previously. Go back and check it out.
Yeah.
Episode 1, 10 things that men should keep private. So
yeah, especially the sex life thing, man. Stop talking about that stuff, guys. You capping. You out there capping.
You're lying about it anyway.
You know.
And you women that's out there talking about y'all getting laid here and there and everything.
Yeah.
No, you know what? No, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. And
stop the cap.
And what is cap anyway? What is that mean? Oh, you're lying. Yeah, stop the lying.
Cap.
Yeah. And the women that talking about they getting laid by different men and all that.
Yeah. You don't want to say that as women. That's a double standard out there when it comes to that. That was number 5 we left off. What's number 6?
Number 6, your relationship problems. Every disagreement doesn't need to go on social media or your group chats. Too many outside voices can poison a relationship. Handle your business directly and quietly.
Relationship problems. Wow. Women talk more about relationship problems than men do, I think. Honestly. You know.
No. I think it's about even.
I don't know, man. Because when I look at social media, because we on social media, so we do a lot of research on social media, I see a lot of women talking about that stuff. I hardly ever see men do that. Not that they don't, but it's saturated on social media from what I come across on algorithm.
You know, I hear a lot of men out there testimony and complaining about their relationship problems. What their lady did, what she didn't do, accusatory. You know, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, and, you know.
Yeah, well, to me, that's different, because this is what we want. We want men to be able to come and have a safe place to come. We talked about that in the first episode. It's not like we want to misconstrue what we're talking about. It's just certain things that you want to keep private.
Right.
That is one, I get that. But you should have someone you can talk to that you trust about relationships to help you get through it. That's a therapist, you know, when it comes to therapy.
Right.
You know, you talk about, and we strong here in the Men's Lounge LA when it comes down to self-care. So therapy is definitely something I think you guys should consider in that particular realm, on that particular topic. That's just my opinion.
And we got a plane going over. We have a helicopter going over.
The plane.
We're in the studio.
The plane.
And the door is open. We have fresh air coming through. So we have some outside noises, but
that's all right.
we're doing our thing. You know, let me just read this real quick, because although we're saying 10 things men should keep private, here at the Men's Lounge, we encourage you to speak, not as a contradictory, don't get me
Right,
wrong.
right.
We encourage men to speak, heal and grow, and have real conversations. And there's a time and a place for everything. And that's being discreet, using discernment, when, where, and how, and why.
Mhm.
And why do you have to talk about it out in public to begin with?
Do you have a definition of discernment?
You know, I have it somewhere.
Let's talk about that for a minute, because you and I had a pretty deep conversation about that. You know, we're not trying to insult anybody, but I think discernment should be something that we need to address.
You know,
So,
I had, here it is, discernment.
go for it.
In my, discernment is the ability to judge people rightly, situations, and information wisely and clearly. It's knowing who to trust, what to say, when to speak, and when silence is the better move. Discernment helps people protect your peace, your purpose, and your relationships. That's discernment. And the opposite of that is oversharing.
That's what we're talking about now, you know, about things that you should
Right.
say to everyone, you know. So, but I want to ask the listening audience a question here and the viewing audience. How do you know and who do you know you can and cannot talk to? Put that in the comment section. How do you know, who do you know that you can and cannot talk to? That's the thing that you guys need to try to figure out.
Right. You know, you'll know who you can talk to by the responses that you get. And it's difficult for me to tell you how, but there's a part of you knowing. I'll give you a good example. I have a friend, I can't talk to him about relationship issues or problems. You know what I'm saying? Because he has a weird way of looking at women.
Oh, okay. A little opinion?
Yeah.
That's what he has? A little opinion on women?
Yeah.
See, I would never talk to a guy like that about a woman.
Yeah. So he has a low opinion about women.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that's one of the things I cannot and would not talk to him about.
Is he in a relationship?
I don't know. I
Doesn't
mean,
sound like it.
he's in and out of relationships.
Of
I
course.
haven't seen a consistency or steady relationship.
Okay.
Him. So he's someone that I would not take relationship
Advice.
right.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, I wouldn't even tell if I'm inclined to have or want to have a conversation with someone about relationship. I have people I can talk to. I have counselors. I have practitioners. I have mentors. You see,
You
So-
got a coach,
you got a coach.
Chris.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we bounce stuff off each other all the time, man. But it kind of goes to say what we talked about, I think, in that first episode about wisdom. Wise people.
Oh yeah,
You know.
yeah,
I believe we touched on that in the first episode. When it came down to having someone to talk to, it's always having someone to talk to who's been through things that we talk
Right,
about.
right.
That's wisdom. How can a woman or a man that's not married, you talk to someone that's about your marriage to that person? What can you get out of that? You know, I know that's probably a close friend, somebody you've been knowing since childhood, but they're not married. You're married. And you're gonna go talk to them about your marriage? How much sense does that make?
right.
You know,
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
even if it's not just marriage, a relationship. If they're not in like the guy you were just talking about.
Oh, I would
You know,
never. No,
how
I would
could you
never.
go to someone that's not in a relationship, that doesn't have a job, that's not doing anything for their life, and then has nothing going for them, and you can go talk to them about anything? What are you gonna get out of that?
Well, anybody who's not doing what you're doing or attempting to do or enhance
Yeah,
your life,
yeah.
they're not a good candidate to
That's
counsel with.
that's a good way of knowing who to talk to and who not to talk to. Figure out what you have in common. My nephew told me that he got some friends at work that's not married. And they came up to him, hey, what's wrong with you, man? I see you looking down. And he told him straight out, man, you can't help it what I'm going through. because the guy's not married.
Right.
It wasn't no insult to the guy. He just let him know, man, you're not married. I can't even tell you what I'm going through right now. And I respect that.
Right, I respect that.
I would respect somebody come to me, hey, Chris, you can't talk to me about anything because you've never gone through anything I've gone through.
What did his friends respond with, you know?
His friend had to respect him. Because he was like, yeah, you're right, I'm not married. But see, his friend had his genuine concern about his well-being.
I get
by
that.
asking that
But
question.
just because someone has a genuine concern
Right.
about something or about you, or they notice something,
Right.
doesn't make them a good candidate to counsel with.
Right, but see, that's the thing. He told me that story after he called me to talk to me about the situation.
Ah.
That's why I know the story. You know, because I was like, what's going on, nephew? And he started telling me what was going on. He told me, he said, hey, man, I was talking to one of my coworkers, man. I told him, man, I can't talk to you about this. And it was out of respect.
No, that was strong.
It was.
That was strong.
So, hey, understand that, listen to your audience and viewing audience. Hey, sometimes you have to recognize the person you talk to, the situation they're in. Does it fit what you need to get off your chest at that point? Things that you can't tell everybody.
Right. 10 things men should keep private. Number 7 is this: your financial details. Money attracts opinions, envy, and sometimes manipulation. Whether you're struggling or winning, move wisely and quietly. And financial discipline is a part of self-mastery. You know, just recently, I'm going to tell this story, but I'm going to use a third party because it's someone close to near and dear our heart. And you know, I have a friend. We have a friend, and someone that they recently met, don't know very well, received a phone call. And in the phone call, there were pleasantries and greeting and stuff like that. And about the third or fourth sentence in, say, hey man, can you loan me X amount of dollars? You know, and my buddy was taken back and like, you know, I just bought some tires for my car, and I'm like, did you really? He said, no, not really, but that was the excuse I gave because I didn't feel comfortable with this approach. Someone asking me for money, and I think you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I got an idea who you're talking about. Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts about that? You don't know this person very well, but the first thing they do after about 5 or 6 minutes into the conversation,
Right.
you know.
You know that every situation like that is different. You know, some people do things out of goodness of their heart just because whatever. You know, and then some people realize that hey, this is a little bit awkward. You know, where is this coming from?
Right.
So it's a case by case basis. It depends on the relationship, like you said, someone that you know from this and that, or whatever. You know, but it's just a strange thing when you have someone just come out of the door and ask you for money. I'm sure you guys feel the same way. Just come out and ask you. You know, it could be pretty awkward. You know, sometimes you may have a good heart to just do it, but would that stop at that point, or would it continue?
You know,
You're talking about finance. You're talking about money. Money comes with a lot of assumptions.
it comes with a target on your back too.
Exactly. So they assume you're doing better than what you probably are.
Right.
And if you are doing better, they assume that you should be taking care of them too. So there's a lot of assumptions when it comes to money. I look at a lot of these pranks on social media, and it's called gold digger pranks. I look at a lot of that, man, and it just blows my mind. A lot of people say it's fake. If it is fake, it's still content that I look at because I'm on social media, like we talked about before in the first episode. So when it comes down to looking at these things, and I see the reaction that these women, you know, and it's usually against women because it's a guy driving around a Lamborghini or maybe a Porsche, whatever car he's driving in, that, man, there's a lot going on over here today, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
What's up with that? That's all we see on the show must go on. So anyway, when I look at that, these women don't want to deal with him at the introduction. Like, hey, my name is so-and-so. What are you doing today? I got a boyfriend. Oh, nothing. Oh, I'm not interested. Whatever it is that they're doing to shy him away because they're not interested. Once he turned that car on,
well, no, when he walks toward the car, it
even
gets
that,
in.
even that. That's
I've
sometimes
seen that.
too. Yeah, that's sometimes too. So they're influenced by that money. They don't really know what this guy has. It could be a loan car, a rental car. It could be anything, but they assume that this guy got money because he's coming up to a Lamborghini, he's coming up to a Porsche, he's coming
Something
up to
exotic.
Exactly, that looks good and it's clean and all this and that, the way they're dressed, but they assume that this guy is gonna go ahead and take care of them. So money comes with assumption. So this one's big for me. When you're talking about not talking about your finances, I don't know what fool would do that anyway, unless you just out there capping again.
I heard a quote, wise men don't count their money in public.
That's crazy.
They don't, wise men and rich men
Yeah.
don't count their money
Yeah.
in public.
You know, there's Forbes magazine out there that talk about these rich people that's out there in the world. You know, they have different kind of security. They have a different life that they live. But you talking about the average Joe that may have a pretty big bag, he's not gonna talk about that. She's not gonna talk about that.
No.
Because you don't want that target on your back. You know, I grew up in the hood. The last thing I want somebody to know is how much is in my pocket.
Right.
You know, because I'll be doing a lot of driving in certain areas, and if he's like, oh, there's, man, look at Chris, look at Coach.
And you know what? Here in the city, in the beautiful city of
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
You know, I don't carry cash.
No, man.
I don't carry cash.
Yeah.
I use, matter of fact, I don't even use my debit card. I use a credit card.
There you go.
And whether I'm getting fuel or groceries or even a burger,
Yeah.
I do not pull out cash here in the city.
Listen to the audience, viewing audience. Put your comment in. Do you talk about your cash? Do you talk about your money? Do you talk about your situation? Do you boast? Do you make it seem like you? Put it in the comment section. I want to see people put comments in on this particular part of this topic on now what to do. Do you talk about your money? Or is it just you waiting to get to church and then you put the tithes and offerings and all that stuff in? That's another subject too. That's another subject right there. But no, put it in the comment section as far as the money situation. Do you do that? Do you talk about it? Do you carry cash? He doesn't. Sometimes I like having cash on me because I like playing lottery. I like playing the, scratchers.
Gotcha.
But that's gone after that. I'm not going back and doing no more.
Right.
But no, talk about that. That was crazy. That was crazy to me if people talking about that. I'm surprised that's on the list.
Your financial
It
details?
shouldn't be on that list.
Well,
Because nobody should be doing that.
No, nobody.
No
I hear
one.
you. All right, let's move
Go
on.
ahead.
Number 8, your self-improvement process. Too many men announce goals instead of building them. Don't chase validations for the work that you're doing. Share the results, not your reps in the gym.
Right.
Keep your self-improvement process
To yourself.
to yourself.
Yeah, well, people will see the results if you're keeping that to yourself. I've lost about 45, almost 50 pounds.
I've lost 35, 40 pounds.
Yeah, and it's due to my change of diet because my diabetes diagnosis. That's how serious I'm taking it.
Right.
But it also enhanced my life
Right.
in a better way. And I still got my back issues, which gives me low impact when it comes down to working out. But either way it go, I feel better. So.
I get it. I keep, even though I'll share it with the listening audience. I do work out 4 or 5 days a week. I do have a personal trainer. I do intermittent fasting, and I just recently stopped drinking and stopped eating sweets. I can say that on camera, online and all that because that's what I'm doing. But ordinarily, in just a typical conversation, that never comes up. I've had a few people come up to me, hey, look like you dropped a few pounds. I say, you know what? Thanks for noticing.
Yeah.
Thanks for noticing. What are you doing? Oh man, I just work out a couple of days a week, 3 or 4 days a week, and change my diet. Just give them.
A little tidbit of this and that.
Yeah, that's it. But I don't go into details. I don't announce it.
Yeah.
If no one notices it, no big deal.
Yeah.
They just see.
Well, it is noticeable.
It's noticeable.
It's noticeable on both sides. We talked about it among ourselves.
Right.
But we're in this together when it comes down to being healthy. Like I said, we're 6 figures in age. So at that point, it's time to make some life changes. Food don't digest and food don't sit in me like it used to and burn it off like it was when I was playing football, when I was playing baseball, basketball, and all this other stuff regularly. Outside running around. It's different now. But no. It's a lifestyle change is worth it.
And the physical is just one thing, but you don't have to brag about the books you're reading.
Yeah.
You don't have to brag about the counseling you're receiving, if you're going to therapy, if you're attending workshops. You don't have to talk about any of that. Just let the results show up for itself.
Yeah.
People will notice.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll notice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on. All right. Here's a big one. Your enemies and grudges. Talking constantly about your enemies keep you emotionally attached to them. Most grudges drain and distract from your purpose. Focus on elevation, not the obsession. You know, and when you have grudges, I heard a quote. When you have grudges against someone, it's like drinking poison and expecting them to die.
That's deep. That's deep. You know, because I don't hold no grudge against nobody.
You have all this energy.
I don't have that energy.
That's energy, man. That's some serious energy, holding grudges. But not only holding grudges, but talking about it to other people.
I cut people off. That's why I don't hold a grudge.
Well,
when you're around someone all the time and you got that kind of energy, that's grudging. For me, I just disassociate myself with it.
I get that, but when you're holding a grudge against someone and you're talking about it to someone, that says a lot more about you or me than it does that person. Why do you hate this person so much?
Yeah, well, you know, people get done wrong in so many different ways, and that's where grudges come from. I can understand the whole concept of someone holding a grudge, but then again, like I said, for me, I don't have the time or the energy. I'm so preoccupied with doing so much positive stuff. I don't need that negative stuff in my life. But the Undisputed Truth said, you know, that song, the group, the Undisputed Truth said that, you know, your enemy can do you no harm because you know exactly where it's coming from.
I remember that.
You know, tell the lyric, but it's a real lyric. You know, enemy won't do you no harm because you know exactly where they're coming from. No reason to hold a grudge because you know where they're coming from.
I had one person tell me, oh, I can hold a grudge. I can hold a grudge longer than God. Can you believe that?
That's crazy.
Like, that's something to brag about.
That's
you can hold a grudge. Do you know what a grudge does?
Yeah.
To you and for you?
Yeah.
It's like
it tears you up.
It tears you up. It's festering. It creates ulcers and
it's an infection.
And what you put out in the universe, you have more of that coming back. You're telling the universe to send me more of this.
That's great.
Because I want to hold a grudge.
Nah, man, I can't do that. I can't do that. Like I say, man, I'd rather just disassociate myself with someone like that because that person is going to constantly make you feel that way. That you should have more self-control on, like you said, because that tells you more about yourself. You know, that means self-mastery. Start working on yourself.
Start working on yourself.
You know, nah, I can't. I don't go out like that.
All right, number 10. Thanks for hanging in there with us. Number 10, last one. Your standards. A man who constantly explains or negotiates his standards usually don't have any, and they don't stand on them. Know your value. Know your boundaries. Move with quiet confidence and consistencies.
Read that again.
All right.
I'm telling you, we did that, I think, on one of those in the first part. And the reason why I asked you to read it again, because I think people need to hear that one more time.
All right, last one, number 10. 10 things men should keep private. Your standards. A man who constantly explains or negotiates his standards usually don't stand on them, usually don't have any. Know your values. Know your boundaries. Move with quiet confidence and consistency. So when you have standards and you have boundaries, you don't negotiate. You don't have to. You don't have to do anything. You stand by them. You tell them, say, hey, you know what? These are one of my boundaries. And this one right here you can't cross.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But see, there's a lot of confident people out there, male and female, that you know that you just cannot get through those boundaries, or how they carry themselves, you know, and that's evident on how they live, how they treat you, how they perform when they're working, how they perform when they're living in their home and this and that. There's just certain things you know you just can't penetrate.
I give
Use
you
that word again.
Penetrate.
You know.
I give you a good example.
Yeah.
The other day, my girlfriend, she did something funny. I said, girl, you silly. She said, don't call me silly.
Wow.
I said, what's wrong with that? Silly. She says, no name calling.
Okay.
I said, okay.
Okay.
That's one of her boundaries or standards. Don't call me silly. No, we're not doing name calling.
It's kind of ironic you brought that up about using a word that you think is pretty innocent.
Right.
I was talking to a friend of ours, and you know who he is, but I called him Buddy. Hey, talk to you later, buddy. He said, don't call me Buddy. And I was like, didn't think there was any harm in that. But it was a boundary for him because something that he had dealt with before in his life.
Got you.
That was very traumatic. When someone had called him Buddy, it wasn't a good outcome. So he didn't want to revisit that.
He had that attachment to it.
He had an attachment to it in a bad way, which I thought Buddy was not a big deal, just like how you thought being silly was a big
Right.
deal. So yeah, that's why I say how people carry themselves.
And and to me, to us, that's a non-threatening
Yeah,
word.
yeah. I mean, sometimes you say, "What's up, partner? What's up, homie? What's up, this and that?" But hey, what's up, buddy? You know, that hit home for him because of what he experienced during that time in his life. That was where he was and how it happened to him. It's something that he didn't want to deal with. So, in the way he explained it, I had to respect it.
And when she said that, and she said it in a real mild manner, she says, no, don't call me silly.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well,
I'm just being, in a sense, affectionate. She says, no name calling.
yeah. Okay.
I said, okay.
All right.
I have to respect that,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, name call it.
No, I gotta respect that. Okay.
That's interesting. We had several things when we were going through the production of this, the pre-production about discernment. You have the definition on discernment.
Right.
We have two other ones that we wanted to talk about definition-wise, so people won't get misconstrued on what we have here. Do you have that on your list?
I do. I have discernment. I've read that already. And
We'll read it again for this episode.
We'll read it
Once we
again?
get to see
All
it.
right. We'll
No,
read
let's
it
get
again.
them all together so that way we can finish.
I have them all together.
Okay, cool. I'm glad you do, because you and I had a long discussion about that.
We did.
In post-production.
We did. Well, pre-production.
Pre-production, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Post-production.
Number one, discernment.
Yeah.
Discerning is the ability to judge people, situations, and information wisely and clearly. It's knowing who to trust, what to say, when to speak, and when silence is the best move. Discernment helps protect your peace, your purpose, and your relationships. And the opposite of that is oversharing, trusting the wrong people, social media exposure, recognizing manipulation or not recognizing manipulation, wisdom versus impulse. So that's discernment. The next one is we had a challenge with was emotional intelligence.
Definitely.
So emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, manage, and communicate your emotions in a healthy and productive way. It's not about being emotionless. It's about not letting emotions control your decisions, reactions, relationships, or behavior. A man with emotional intelligence knows how to respond instead of just reacting. The opposite of that, reacting versus responding, anger management, emotional discipline, communication in relationships, and also reading the room.
Before you go on, let's talk about that one for a second.
Which one?
Emotional intelligence, because there's some people out there think that's an oxymoron.
Emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
What part of it? I mean,
All of it.
it's not about it's about not letting emotions control your decisions, reactions, relationships, and behavior.
Yeah, but why would they put emotional and intelligence in the same category on how they want to phrase this?
Emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
You tell me.
No, I just,
Tell me.
it's a term, I can understand the definition on how they put it together, but should that be reworded in a way
Like,
to fit how it's categorized instead of just how it's said at the top?
well, once you understand emotional intelligence, and that's exactly what it is, breaking it down. It's recognizing and having the ability to respond as opposed to reacting. It's the ability to keep your emotions in check. It's giving you the awareness at that moment when something happens or happens to you, you don't fly off the handle.
I think most men do that. because we're not emotional creatures by nature. We're creatures of, more,
Logic.
exactly, more logic than emotion, but we think through things to come to that logical conclusion. So that's why I say it sounds like an oxymoron to me for a man to be saying you need to be emotionally
I think the first sentence explains it all. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, manage, and communicate your emotions in a healthy and productive way.
Yeah, but most men suppress their emotions because they don't know how to talk about it in a productive way. That's why, to me, it's an oxymoron, because we're not thinking about it from an emotional point of view, we're thinking about it from a logical point of view.
So they're stuffing it.
Correct. In my opinion. As
And
a man who think logically,
and then
but
to
still has emotions.
express it in a mature manner.
Correct. Because men, we fix it people.
Oh, I agree.
So we take emotion out of it to try to fix it. I'm not gonna get over here and start crying. This thing won't cut off. Emotional. So I'm thinking about intelligently, what tool do I need to get this thing turned off? So to me, that was some work in progress as far as that particular deal. Excuse me. So we got those two out the way. What was the last one?
Self-mastery.
Self-mastery.
Self-mastery is having control over yourself instead of being controlled by your emotions.
There you go.
Urges, habits, ego, and distractions. It's a discipline, it's consistency, it's accountability. Self-mastery means becoming the kind of man who can lead himself before trying to lead anyone else.
See, how does that fit with emotionally intelligent? Those two, self-mastery.
Self-mastery,
Yeah, emotionally intelligent.
They go hand in hand.
Do they really? Are you sure?
Why not?
I'm not sure about that, man. I'm not sure about that.
Well, I want to hear from our listening audience.
Yes.
I want to hear from our listening audience. What does emotional intelligence have to do with self-mastery?
Put it in the comment section. Put it in the comment section.
I want to hear all about it.
Because this is a debate right here that no one's right or wrong about, but it's just a conversation to have, conversing to come up to a conclusion, what fits best for you on how you see those two particular, actually those three different things. Discernment, emotional intelligence, and self-mastery.
Did you just flip me off?
I did. That's why I started here, but this way it came to this.
Okay, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. 10 things men should keep private. Number 1, your next move. Number 2, emotional struggles. Number 3, your self-doubt. Number 4, your good deeds. Number 5, your sex life. Number 6, relationship problems. Number 7, your financial details. Number 8, your self-improvement progress. Number 9, your enemies and grudges. And number 10, your standards.
And we'll have each one of these in the description below. Take these and kind of work with them and figure out how it works for you. And all I gotta say is that still, here in the Men's Lounge LA, we truly believe this is a place to come, to express yourself. Don't misconstrue this. Just understand the whole concept of how you keep certain things under wrap. Everybody doesn't have to know everything about you.
I don't believe it. I know it. I
It's
know
true.
it.
It's true.
I know it. This is something that I'm very confident in. This is something I know. So
Right.
this is the place to come.
It is. It is. This thing has been built around that.
The Men's Lounge LA.
Men's Lounge LA.
So,
It's been built around that.
Coach Chris, take us home.
Time to get out of here, huh?
Yeah, we're gonna put the kickstand down.
As we, oh wow, I don't say that. As we in all our shows, as I always say, as we empower men, everyone benefits, including and especially the woman who's looking for a man like that. Please subscribe to the channel.
We empower men, we strengthen families, and we're transforming lives with content that matters. And we'll see you next time in the lounge. In the lounge.
Thanks for watching.